Art the Clown K*led Rhea Ripley. Terrifier is one of the horror movies that Rhea Ripley has made it known she loves. The former WWE Women's World Champion had the chance to share the stage with David Howard Thornton's character Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies this past weekend at Silver Scream Con. In front of an audience, the clown attacked Ripley on stage before he was killed. A dream come true for mommy. The two stars got into a fight before Art grabbed Ripley's labubu, which resulted in him getting slapped and starting a physical altercation. In the same manner that Liv Morgan was able to forgive Chucky after she was killed by the horror movie star, she later revealed on her Instagram page that they remained friends in spite of the incident, suggesting that she had no ill toward him. Since Ripley is still involved in a significant plotline with Io Sky and Asuka, she is anticipated to appear in this week's Raw show despite the attack. Last week on Raw, the women acquired a new foe in Nikki Bella. It appears that she has teamed up with Ripley and may face Asuka and Kairi Sane at the next WrestlePalooza event. The Damage Control stablemates have caused a lot of problems in Io Sky's friendship with Rhea Ripley in recent weeks, and it looks like they could cost her the Women's Championship at WrestlePalooza as well. Io Sky will face Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant WWE Women's World Championship this weekend. Right now, Asuka's upcoming heel turn seems to be a big topic of discussion in the WWE. But after getting back together with Rhea Ripley, former WWE superstar Scarlett recently posted an emotional statement on social media. Karrion, the former SmackDown star's spouse, was also in attendance. The initial year of Karrion and Scarlett's employment with World Wrestling Entertainment was limited to 2020 to 2021. In 2022, the husband-wife team rejoined the business. With supporters yelling for Cross to be promoted to the main event stage, he went on to become one of the most well-known figures in the Stamford-based promotion. The former boss of Final Testament and his spouse left the company in August 2025 after their contracts were not renewed, despite their strong audience approval. Scarlett just posted a picture of herself with Rhea Ripley and her husband, Karrion, on Instagram. The former SmackDown star wrote an emotional note in the caption of the image, saying that they reconnected with Ripley, who shared their passion for metal and horror. The former NXT champion was interviewed on the Ariel Helwani show following the departure of Scarlett and Karrion from the WWE. The former leader of Final Testament stated in the conversation that he and his spouse desired to rejoin the promotion centered in Stamford. Cross said that he still enjoyed referring to World Wrestling Entertainment as his home, in spite of all the annoyances. At the moment, Cross and Scarlett are active in separate independent wrestling promotions. Neither of the two celebrities has yet to sign with a Tony Khan-led promotion, despite predictions that they would. What the former WWE stars have planned for their future in the professional wrestling industry will be interesting to watch. But the famous beat of "This Is My Brutality" shook the entire crowd as the lights went down. As Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio ran down the ramp, the WWE Universe let out a combination of applause and jeers. Although Raw had been dominated by the Judgment Day for months, there was a fresh sense of tension in the air this evening. Rhea was come to convey a message, not only to engage in combat. Rhea snatched up the microphone inside the ring, her cold look piercing the cacophony of the audience. Liv Morgan has been snarling and acting like she belongs in the same ring as me for weeks now, she growled. She talks about dragging me down and about redemption. She is unaware, though, that I am more than just another foe. I am her demise. Her worst nightmare is me. And Liv Morgan will never be the same after tonight. In an attempt to rally around their underdog hero, the crowd screamed, "Liv! Liv! Liv!" while Rhea smiled. Dominic stood tensely fixing his Judgment Day shirt as she glanced at him. "And as for my Dom, he's not just the mommy's boy everyone calls him," Rhea said, putting her hand on his shoulder. "He has earned a new name as of tonight. The Prince of Pain is who he is. Because he is always there to ensure that everyone understands Judgment Day is the owner of Raw, no matter where I go." Dominic nodded along, puffing his chest with a phony sense of assurance. He smiled proudly at his new nickname despite the jeers from the throng. The arena exploded when Liv Morgan's music suddenly began to blast. With a microphone in hand and fury in her eyes, Liv strode down the ramp. "You've been the shadow overshadowing me since the day I took home my first title, Rhea," she yelled. "Shadows, however, are transient. Do you wish to terminate me? Do you wish to demolish everything I've constructed? Then take action immediately right here." Refusing to back down, Liv slid into the ring and stood toe-to-toe with Rhea. There was an electric tension. She was dwarfed by Rhea, who smiled darkly amused. "Liv, are you certain about that? Because there is no turning back once this begins." Rhea attacked before Liv could respond, but Liv ducked under her arm and punched fiercely. When Liv's speed briefly overtook Rhea, the audience erupted. Dominic shouted, "You can't beat Mommy," as he leaped onto the apron to divert her attention. "It's the Prince of Pain." But Dominic almost fell off the apron as Liv whirled around and gave him a hefty smack. The diversion provided Rhea with the necessary opening. Grabbing Liv by the throat, she raised her into the air and then used a powerful riptide to crush her to the ground. Rhea was standing over Liv's still body as the arena went silent. To ensure that only Liv and the cameras could hear, she leaned down and whispered, "I told you, Liv. I am your demise." As the audience roared in booing, Rhea triumphantly raised Dominic's hand. "Long live the Prince of Pain," Dominic exclaimed as Rhea gazed icily into the camera. Her message was clear. Rhea Ripley's reign, and her so-called Prince of Pain, was only getting started, and Liv Morgan's time in the WWE was coming to an end. But Monday Night Raw's November 4th episode got underway with a heated atmosphere. Knowing that a big revelation for the women's division had been hinted at, the Brooklyn audience was already humming. Adam Pearce, the general manager, promised a decision that would shake up the chaotic situation that had dominated the Women's World Championship picture in recent weeks. Pearce declared inside the ring that the next #1 contender for the Women's World Championship would be decided by a unique 20-woman battle royal at the next Survivor Series. In December, the victor would go on the champion on the big stage. The audience instantly erupted in enthusiasm, with names like Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch already anticipated to be mentioned. However, Liv Morgan's song came out before Pearce could complete his declaration. With a microphone in hand, Liv strode to the ring wearing her trademark dark leather jacket. She yelled, "You don't need 20 women, Adam. All you need is me. I have persevered through every setback, injury, and treachery. This division is now mine, and Liv Morgan is the one who deserves that shot the most." Half of the audience cheered and half jeered, but before Liv could say anything more, Bianca Belair's theme roared through the Barclays Center. The EST of WWE confidently swung her braid as she strode to the ring. Bianca grinned as she stepped through the ropes and murmured, "Ah, you can't just show up here and demand a championship match, girl. Night after night, I've been working hard. I've carried this division on my back and defeated champions. And the EST is the one who will prevail in that battle royal." The tension between the two women was boiling as they stood chest to chest. Liv made fun of Bianca by tilting her head and said, "Oh, please. All I see is the past, even if you claim to be the EST. Bianca, you've had your opportunities. Now it's my time." The insult caused the audience to gasp, but Bianca didn't think twice. The sound reverberated throughout the arena as Bianca struck Liv Morgan across the face in a single motion. Eyes wide with surprise, Liv staggered back before exploding with anger. In the middle of the ring, the two ladies started fighting, with Liv throwing Bianca to the mat and Bianca throwing Liv across the ring with her undeveloped strength. Referees and security hurried down to keep them apart, but the fire was already going. Adam Pearce snatched up a microphone once more, looking enraged. "How much do you both want it? Then demonstrate it. In addition to being in the Battle Royale. However, it will be Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan on Raw next week." The crowd was shocked by the stipulation. Both women were aware that they had a significant edge if they entered last in a Battle Royal. Liv yelled back, "This is my time," as Bianca gestured toward her and mouthed, "I'm the ST." The WWE Universe was in a frenzy as the show came to a close. Would Bianca get the top slot because of her unparalleled athleticism? Or will Liv Morgan eventually get closer to winning a championship gold medal thanks to her unwavering determination? There was no doubt that their rivalry would become a must-watch on November 4th, 2024. But tension was already high on Monday Night Raw's November night. Rivals were brewing in every area of the women's division as the Survivor Series War Games pay-per-view approached. The first Women's War Games match of the year was supposed to include a contract signing as the major event, but nobody was prepared for the impending storm. The ring was in disarray as the show's last section approached. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, three women who had formerly been fierce rivals but were now confined by necessity, stood on one side. Damage Control, which consisted of Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane, stood strong opposite them, claiming to have the numbers advantage and the shrewdness to rule the double cage. With a confident smirk, Bayley spoke into the microphone. "Ladies, you have no chance. Face it. We own this War Games bout, and it will be your funeral when that cage closes." The lights in the arena flickered before Becky could retaliate with her razor-sharp tongue. Confusion and enthusiasm erupted in the throng. Suddenly, from the speakers, came the familiar, menacing riff of "This is my brutality." The arena blew apart. Following weeks of conjecture, Rhea Ripley returned. Wearing an all-black leather outfit, Ripley walked slowly to the ring while sporting her signature sneer and the Women's World Championship, which she never lost. She exuded authority at every turn. Bianca, Charlotte, and Becky exchanged cautious looks, knowing what Ripley's return may entail, while damaged CTRL's arrogant expressions shifted to uneasiness. With a microphone in hand and a venomous voice, Ripley entered the ring. "You believed that without me, War Games was complete?
No.
I'm here to make sure that this contest turns into the most vicious battle the women's division has ever witnessed, because the nightmare is back." The audience let forth a roar. The twist, however, came next. Rhea stood shoulder to shoulder with Damage as she strolled right by Bianca and Becky. Instantaneous shockwaves swept through the arena. Bayley clapped her hands, and her smile reappeared. "This is ideal now. It's over for you three now that Rhea Ripley is on our side." Rhea, however, was not grinning. Her look pierced through Bayley as she leaned closer. "You don't represent me. I stay out of factions. I am a battle leader." With that, she floored her own purported ally by giving Bayley a brutal headbutt. Chaos broke out in the audience. Damage Rhea swung viciously, throwing Kairi and Dakota with merciless force as Control attempted to swarm her. Io Sky was grabbed in midair and slammed into the mat with a powerbomb after attempting to hit a missile dropkick. In the middle of the chaos, Charlotte, Becky, and Bianca stood in disbelief. Was Rhea there to destroy everything, or was she with them? Breathing heavily, Rhea took up the microphone once more. "Do you desire a challenge in War Games? All right. But keep in mind that alliances aren't the point of War Games. The goal is to survive. I'm not here to save you, and I'm not here to be saved when that cage locks. My goal is to ruin everyone." There was commotion as the show ended. The War Games teams were unfinished, the women's division was in ruins, and Rhea Ripley stood tall in the middle of the ring. With the knowledge that the Survivor Series had just become more unpredictable than before, fans were left feeling energized. Greetings and welcome to my channel, dear viewers. I hope you're having a great day. I'm Lima. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.